Our currency of the week this week is euro dollar. Euro dollar has been going down. That's no secret. What's going on in euro dollar? Let's begin with the pair itself. In the past year, it's been extremely frustrating. We've been complaining about it quite a bit. Clearly, not the only one. Extremely frustrating range. Sometimes only 30, 40, 50 pips in better days. But in recent weeks, it eventually surrendered to the strength of the US dollar. Okay, the US dollar has been moving forward across the board. It was easy against the pound, harder against the yen and commodity currencies, but eventually the euro also surrendered. Draghi's uncertainty, and we don't know if we're going to have more QE, tapering of QE, for how long, what they're going to buy, if there's scarcity of bonds. Everything that we had last week, sort of the suspense, the same thing that Trump did with the elections, that serves as another drag on the euro. Okay? Also, what I mentioned before, hard Brexit, which is bad for the pound, is also bad for the euro. Britain is a big country, okay, much smaller than the larger EU, but it's still important. And if we have a nasty breakup, it's bad for the EU as well. It also hurts the euro. In the past week, we also had negotiations between Canada and the EU stuck. I mean, negotiations lasted for a free trade agreement. It's called CETA, for 7 years. There was supposed to be, tomorrow, a very nice ceremony, signing of the agreement. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had a planned visit to Brussels. As far as I know at the moment, it has been cancelled, but the negotiations are going on until the last moment. The Belgian region of Wallonia is opposing it, and also I think the Brussels region. There have been protests also in Germany and Austria. Those against the agreement say that it does not respect labor and environmental rights. Those that are proponents say that all the concerns have been addressed. I must say I don't have a clear opinion about that, but anyway, it's another worry because even if Canada is a small country, it also serves as a worry. So open an eye also for news about the CETA agreement when you're trading euro-dollar. Spain, here we have sort of good news for the euro. On Saturday, we'll probably have a new government here in Spain. After nearly a year with an interim government, Socialist Party here imploded, and basically they've agreed to abstain in the vote, allowing a minority government of the center-right, basically a continuation. This will be followed by severe cuts to the budget demanded from Brussels, so it's not necessarily good news regarding for people living here in Spain, but it's good news for the euro. And Italy, the third largest economy, is facing a referendum in December. If the constitutional changes, if this fails, this could hurt also stability, could force new elections, and this means that it's also a source of instability. Currently, the polls are quite tight in Italy. It'll become a bigger story in November. So lots of political issues for the euro. What's going on? Let's get back to euro dollar. Another long period of range trading at the current ranges around 109. I hope not, and I believe there are good reasons to expect it won't happen. Inflation figures are probably going to become more important because that will determine the next move from the ECB. Okay, and it's also becoming more sensitive to US dollar flows. If at first, let's say, pound dollar moved on its own, and now when the pound weakens, the euro usually follows. So it's becoming a bit more sensitive. And the political implications of what's going on in the United States, if Trump wins, euro dollar could plunge. Why? Because the euro is not the safe haven currency it used to be back in 2015. And we could see money flowing into the sort of safe haven US dollar and to the clear safe haven of the yen. Clinton's victory is more or less priced in at the moment. Things can, of course, change many times. And the Trump victory will be a shock. People say 3 times Brexit, 5 times Brexit, 7 times Brexit. These are expectations at the moment. I'll just show you the, according to Nate Silver's 538, 85% chance of Clinton winning the elections, which is quite high, but 15% for Trump is not negligible. Okay, and now let's look at the euro-dollar chart. At the bigger picture, well, the smaller picture is 109, so the smaller ranges to watch are 109.60, 110, 110.70. But if we're doing a special focus on euro dollar, let's look at the bigger picture. To the upside, if we have good news from Europe, no issues from the US, 111.20 is a very, very strong line. Look how it served as support for long weeks. And to the upside, the level to watch there is 113.70. The high of the year, 116.16, looks very far out, okay? To the downside, we have the recent lows of 108.60, 108.50. Below that, we have the March low of 108.20. That's when Draghi announced more measures, but they weren't enough for markets. Below that, we have 107.10 and December's lows of 105.20, which is a very, very strong level. Now, we can also mention, of course, 104.60, which was the 13-year low last seen in March 2015. Okay, so that's our special segment on euro dollar.